Welcome to Maker Conversations. I'm your host, Tiff Marchand from Night Carver Designs. And today on the show, I have Becca from Southern Pine Design Co. Becca and I bonded a while back now over a contest that I was hosting. She was on the build team, and we really just, all three of us actually that were on that build team were just really bonded. So I loved getting to sit down with her and actually getting to know her background, her whole story of how she got to where she is right now, and just kind of the things that she's thinking about doing in the future. So I hope you enjoy getting to know Becca, and make sure you're following our sponsor, Sabertooth Power Carving. You can save 10% with the code NIGHTCARVER10 in all caps. All right, let's get on with the show.
Hi.
You're sideways.
What? Oh, okay. Hold on. Technologically challenged. Oh man. I'm
That's
like,
funny.
I should find a remote job. Meanwhile, I'm like, wait, what? Tell me about Zoom again.
Have you ever had to do that before? Like do a job like that?
No, I mean, I've been on like a couple Zoom meetings. Like I did one with Kristen for Workbench Con.
Mm-hmm.
I've been on one with like Rachel and Adam with Makers Challenge, but I'm just, it's not like my ideal situation. I don't mind being on camera.
Yeah.
It's the getting there. It's the transitioning to. Yeah.
I worked in corporate America for 20 years. So Zoom was something that I did all the time. And yeah, it gets to a point where just like, whew.
Yeah.
But yeah, you get very comfortable with it. But I love the setup. I love how it all looks back there. Did you clean for
Thanks
us
for wall
tonight?
control.
Yes.
So good.
I love wall control. Hello, my whole setup down here. It's all wall control. It's
Yeah.
the best.
Yeah, it is the best. I've got another little piece over there that I put up when I got my Shaper Origin that's got all my Shaper plate and all my little
Perfect.
accessories.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I wish I had more wall space for more wall control. I'm working in a 1-car garage, and it's funny, I'm filming a YouTube video in here right now. And it is just so tight. And I do pan in there and I show people because I'm making fun of myself as I do in most of my videos. So I'm just like, this is my space. I'm like,
Yeah.
that's all I have to do is slightly turn the camera on. There you go.
Well, I work out of the basement, so I'm kind of the same. It's nice to have natural light in here if I'm like filming something during the day. But I have like no wall space because there's like a window there, and then there's 2 windows here and the door. So
It is well lit though. That is nice for that. But yeah, you have,
Well, yeah, my husband also like rigged up a bunch of lights in here. He does the electrician thing pretty well, so he's good with wiring.
I need one of those. My husband's like, not me.
Yeah.
Not me.
I've changed the light fixture, but other than that, I'm like, am I the one that's gonna get electrocuted?
Exactly.
Probably.
Or am I gonna like cause a fire that's gonna burn the house down, and now there's like this big problem? You know what I mean?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, that would totally be me.
Then they figure out, oh, so ma'am, it looks like you changed a fan here, and what did you do wrong?
Cross the wires.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yep. It's I have my dad that has like he's been a mechanic, he's done construction, he's done everything. So if I ever have anything that I need help with, he just comes over and we get it done together. So I'm very fortunate that I have my own personal YouTube. I actually called him today. I was like, hey dad, coming over tomorrow? We're gonna look at some stuff in my shop that it's been bothering me. He's like,
yeah.
All right.
Well, it's funny. My husband is so handy. Like he'll call for like serious things. He doesn't really do plumbing. That's the only thing. He'll change like a faucet, but that's about it. And then he had an outdoor outlet put in for me recently. So he called the guy that, they use at work to do that. But we were talking about something in the car and somehow like automotive stuff came up. And I said, well, you have to teach Charlie how to do that stuff. I'm like, you can't, I said, you can't make fun of a girl that like doesn't know how to check her oil or doesn't know how to change her oil. Like if no one's ever taught her, I'm like, my dad 100% handled all that stuff. Like he changed my oil, he checked my oil. So I didn't know how to check my oil. Like no one taught me. He just did it for me. So I said, if you're going to just do it for her, then she's not going to know how to do it. So, you know, you can't blame the woman for that. You got to teach them how to do that stuff.
No, I got taught how to change the oil. I got taught how to like look for the radiator fluid, what not to do, because he was a mechanic. So
yeah,
I got preached to a lot. I couldn't change my own oil, although I think I could have figured it out. He explained it all. I just never did it, you know. But I'm like, not anymore though. My dad's like, no, go get it done now. I don't like these modern cars. Get out of here.
Yeah. That's what we went on a beach trip back in August. A handful of us maker girls, and my check engine light came on. And of course, we're in Florida, so it's like a 6-hour drive home for me. And I'm like, I don't even know what to do, you know? And Lizzie's out there. Lizzie pops my hood and she's like digging through the engine and checking all these fluids. And I'm like, I mean, dang, girl.
You're like, thank you.
I know. My good thing somebody got to check this stuff because it ain't me.
I saw that trip. That looked like such a fun trip. You guys like had a blast.
It was so much fun. It's just, I mean, it's just like conferences, like to connect with people who just get you on like a different level than other people, you know. I mean, I love my best friend dearly, but she very much is like, I don't really understand why you want to own a business. And I'm like, you know, I'm not sure I understand sometimes either. But
I think all of us can relate to
that. Yeah. We're like, why am I doing this?
I talk to a lot of makers about that same thing all the time. And I'm sure you and I have talked about it before too, is like the constant battle. Do I go get a job? What do should I do? Should I try this full time? Should it just be part-time? What am I doing here? Should I pivot? Like,
yeah. I wonder like when you get through that, because I feel like for me, it's like it happens periodically, you know, which I feel like is, you know, when you do freelance work, you know, you're like, when you go through like a lull or you end up with a freelance gig that you don't love, or you're like, what else can I do to like change it up? What can I do differently? Like, you know, trying to work it out. But
it's like 2-year itch.
My husband has been enjoying me being home. He's like, you know, because I had surgery at the end of December, my bilateral carpal tunnel, for those that don't know. So I've been he said 2 to 4 weeks was like my, you know, healing time. So, and then I wasn't approved to use like anything like an oscillating tool or a sander or anything like that until February. So I've just been able to start sanding again. But, so, you know, I was shocked how quickly I like bounced back and could do a lot.
Oh, it's awesome.
Stuff around the house. But he's like thoroughly enjoying it with me, not like going to any outside job. Like I work at a cabinet shop a couple days a week, and with me not being there, he's like, oh my gosh, like the house is clean, dinner is ready. I'm like, this is why like women were meant like, or one person was like meant to be stay at home. And like, it's a lot, you know?
Yeah.
So
I take care of all the running of the kids and stuff like that. My husband, though, thank goodness, he's the one who like take care of the laundry and all that and dishes. I like to cook though, so I cook. But yeah, it's funny. Everybody has their different breakdowns of who handles what and stuff. It's a way to survive. But I literally just finished giving you a nice deep stalking because I'm like, I've been following you for a while and I don't even know when I started following you. Oh yeah, I had to. I had to because I was like, you know how like some people you just start following and you don't know the journey before like you met them. So I was like, I have to peek down there and just kind of see where she started. And I'm like, I started going like, fuck her at the end with you and like upside down on a paddle board pregnant. I'm like, who is she? Superwoman over here. Like just, oh, look at me pregnant. Look what I can do. Handstands. I was just dying. I was like,
we were at my dad's cousins and she was like, should you be doing that? I'm like, I don't know. It's probably fine.
Badass is what it is.
Oh,
I was like, look at her.
I don't know if I could do it anymore, but we definitely, there's definitely pictures of all of us at the beach doing it. Cause Ashley started doing it, and then Lizzie and Claire, and then so then all of us are on the beach doing headstands. Ashley can do a handstand. She showed all of us that, but
Well, you were doing one pregnant. I mean, that's impressive. Like way back then on a paddleboard or like
yeah,
that. Like that's
only when it's really calm.
yeah. Well, yes. I hope you're not out there in big waves.
That would
Watch
be more
me.
impressive. That
Yeah.
would be more impressive.
Oh, I just got that was hilarious. I get all kinds of different. I watch way too many movies, so like scenes flashing through my head. I'm like, oh yeah.
Oh.
So what got you like you started making when you were pregnant already or you already had one kid? Like how did that all start? Cuz you kind of your
Um,
first post cuz I did go all the way to the first. It's just like you like, "Hey, we're here. We're a restoration company. Here we are." Like,
so we started, so Chad's, like I said, is real handy, and he
mhm.
grew up like working on cars and building, and he works for a company that does electronics. So they install stuff in cars. So he can do a little bit of everything. So we moved to this house in 2012, which was the year we got married.
Okay.
And so the first thing, obviously is like little things here and there. And we wanted to do our fireplace wall, didn't have any built-ins. So we just wanted some cabinetry there. So his dad and he and my dad built these cabinets, which we actually were laughing about this morning. Because I was sitting there having my coffee and we were chatting, and I was looking at him and I said, how did you install those shelves? Is there just like, are they just sitting on trim? And he was like, oh yeah. He's like, those things may not be pretty, but they are sturdy. Like he said, they are glued together, screwed together. Like I'm not sure you're ever going to be able to change those cabinets. And funny enough, the worst part of it is the paint job, which I did because I painted them with latex paint with a brush. So
Yeah.
they have horrible brush marks.
We all learn and
Um,
there's maybe some sticky spots and
yeah, exactly. But so then it went to like, oh, well, that was like the farmhouse era, right? So like
yep.
farmhouse furniture, rustic. So I had him build me some furniture. So he built me a like foyer table, one of those like 2x4 foyer tables, and I painted that and finished that. And then my grandmother passed away in 2014, and I got a buffet that was hers, and it was like this like orangish, brown color. And
Mhm.
asked my aunt,
That
I said,
color that everything was.
yeah, oh
Yeah.
yeah.
Mhm.
Her house was very much, I mean, she had like pea green carpet, and like it was very like floral couch, she was
Yes.
very like whatever that was, like 60s, 70s.
Mhm.
Um, but yeah, so she had this buffet, and I asked my aunt, I said, are you like, is this an antique? Are you attached to it? Do you care if I paint it? And she was like, no, do whatever you want with it. So I chalk painted it. And then I just kind of like, after I had done a couple of things, I just was like, well, this is cool. Maybe I could do this for like some side money.
Yeah.
And then after I had done the buffet, and a friend had seen it and asked me to do a bedroom set for her. So that's really when I started. I started out as Southern Pine Restorations. So that was where I started, was refinishing furniture with chalk paint. I used to paint everything by hand. I would paint it, and then I would
Mhm.
sand the paint smooth, and then I would wax the whole thing by hand and then buff it by hand.
Whew.
And girl, that's probably why I have carpal tunnel. I mean, to tell you,
Probably.
tell you the truth.
You're like just diagnosed yourself. And this is why that has happened. I just
This
saw
is why.
one of your most recent projects. And I don't know how I missed it. Well, I do know I was hosting a contest that month, but it's so incredible. I don't know who you made the desk for, but the black and white checkered piece, like that is awesome.
Oh yeah, that was the furniture flip. The theme was patterns last fall.
Okay.
And so I got this desk, and I just had the idea to do black and white checker pattern. I know it's real popular right now. And I was like, yeah, it would be really cool to do like, a boy themed kind of desk. And then I'm like, it's going to be great. I'm going to sell it, make some money off of it. Oh no, my son claimed it.
It's so nice. Like, how could he not? Like, you even put
Yeah.
like the lightning bolt as the handle. I
Weren't those
saw
the
that.
coolest? That was like the
Yeah.
best kind.
Yeah. I was like, oh, look at that detail. No, I'm one of those person who will probably just never stop wearing checkered Vans. Like, I can't help
Yeah.
myself. So
Classic.
anytime you see checkered, it's just like, it's fun. My curtains are
Yeah.
checkered. I have to.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah.
Nice.
Dedicated. I'm dedicated here.
Yeah. Yeah, so
That's
that was a
cool.
fun one,
So
but
like,
so I still do some restoration. I don't take a ton of projects. I'm really picky about it at this point just because I you've got these women that furniture flip and do that for a living, and that just wasn't
they make some good
meant to be
money.
for me. Like, yeah. I was the Facebook marketplace, and then the finding the pieces and finishing them and selling them was just,
It's
yeah,
exhausting.
it's a lot. I mean, that's a lot. I
Mhm.
respect those women that do that because that is a freaking hustle.
It
And I mean,
sure
it's
is.
cool when they find like legit antique furniture,
Mhm.
like I love seeing those when they're like uncovering this like gorgeous walnut,
Oh
veneer
yeah,
from,
absolutely. It's like so
uh,
fun to see those reveals. When I
mhm.
managed Haven's account, I saw so many cool furniture flips because we're
Oh
following
yeah.
everybody who's into that because that's a huge field. And
Yeah.
yeah, they just do incredible work. But that was a really cool piece that you just knocked out too. So
Thanks.
what do
Thanks.
you do at the cabinet shop?
I do mainly small parts. So the guys usually build the boxes, which is fine with me because the boxes are the boring part anyway.
Mm-hmm.
So just ripping big chunks of plywood. So they do that typically because I usually need help with a 4x8 sheet and
Oh
they
yeah.
just manhandle them. So I do a lot of face frames, drawer fronts, door fronts. We have actually the owner's dad comes in sometimes and stands like tabletops and desktops and stuff,
That's
but
nice.
I'll do that occasionally as well. So um it's pretty cool. It's nice to have
Yeah.
like a kind of a side, I guess a side hustle. It's 2 days a week, so I guess that would be considered my side hustle.
I love that. I legit told my husband like it'd be nice to just have like a little steady something
Yeah.
because it's nice doing the social media stuff, but I can get burnt down on something that I'm trying to do also for myself. So I'm like, I think I
Yeah.
need real human interactions occasionally. I'm like, so that's
Yeah.
nice. It's a good break.
Well, and when I apprenticed with Jericho Home, the guys were very much like, you can post on social media or whatever, like if
Mm-hmm.
you want to post something, obviously within reason, they were totally fine with that. But when I started at Woodstock, um, he asked me not to really post anything in the shop on social media. He does some behind the scenes stuff occasionally, but he mainly keeps it as like a gallery page for like a local customer base. So it's kind of nice. Like I put my phone away and I just work, and to be able to
Yeah.
just work with your hands and build and do what you enjoy doing and not really have to think about the social media part of it is kind of nice. So I always call that my base salary because I know approximately what I'm going to get.
Yeah, exactly. No, that is
So
nice.
yeah,
This
it
sound
is
like
nice to have.
I know everybody who's listening who does content creation knows like when you do like that house project that you just don't film or something like the sense of like it's just so much easier to do. It's like I just want to get it done. Like
Yeah.
there's so many things. I did a whole complete bathroom renovation. I barely posted about it. Like I think I did mostly the demo just because that's
Yeah.
you can't not film the demo. It's fun to watch.
Yeah.
But
It's
yeah,
fun to do. It's fun to
yeah,
watch.
exactly. Yeah, yeah, yeah. The whole thing is just amazing. But like everything else, you just want to be able to like do it and not worry about how you look on camera too. Cause
Yeah.
when you're dangling up on a ladder and you're doing something and you don't look the best position.
From the back, and you're
Yeah,
like, wow,
exactly. Like that's
that
not a good
angle.
angle there. How should I put the camera? No, 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 no. Shouldn't it go from
Yeah.
there? Yeah, like yeah. And just like get it done. Like it feels so nice.
Oh yeah, absolutely. Um, yeah, when I redid the kids' bathroom, so I was part of this Jeffrey Court renovation challenge. It's a
Okay.
tile company that's sold at Home Depot. So they gave us the tile, and I was still working at a full-time job then and just not happy where I was. And it's funny, I came home one day and we took out the shower and the flooring and stuff in there that was, the previous. And I came home one day and I was just so frustrated. My husband said, "Do you need me to get you the sledgehammer?" And I was like, "Man, this guy knows me." Like,
They're so fun. Yeah, for our
yeah,
reno, I was the one in there with all the tile just
yeah,
I was like, you can come in for the tub. I don't care about the tub. I want the shower tile. I'm like,
Yeah.
got to. Yep.
Yeah.
Some days you just need that.
Yeah. After that bathroom, he was like, you're going to do the mat. You know, it's like after you have a baby and like a nurse that thinks she's funny, like comes in and is like, you ready to have another one? And you're like, lady, like,
No.
no, my like vagina hurts. Like, no, I'm not thinking about that at all. So I finished this bathroom and he's like, are you going to do the master bath? And I'm like, no, you couldn't pay me enough. Now I know why people charge $30,000 to redo your bathroom. Now I am aware.
It's a workout.
Oh my gosh. It was, I mean, and I even did like the large format tile in the shower, you know?
Yep.
And it took forever.
Luckily, my whole, like my dad, my father-in-law, and my husband, they all tackled the tiling part with it. Like we all did. We all took our turns. Like, okay, you're doing grout, you're doing this. And then like we rotated. One person was cutting while one person was measuring, and we just knocked it out. I have very efficient men in my life.
Yeah, my
That,
dad was a big help. My mom did
yeah.
a lot of painting in the bathroom. She kind of stepped in and painted the trim and the walls. And then dad and I did all the tiling, but same, he would, if he was able to come over, I would call a measurement and he would go cut it, you know. So that's the other thing. I was upstairs bath. So to go downstairs to the driveway to make every cut.
Home renovations. Fun.
I'm like, you're giving me PTSD right now.
We'll shift topics. So what got you into the maker community? Like what shifted you from the furniture? Where'd you go next?
So I had probably a couple thousand followers from like my early posts, which, you know, I look back, I'm like, oh, so cute. I'm like, this is how I put two boards together and pocket hole them together. I like to make a line, you know,
I love that. No, I love it though. It's when you're feeling confident enough to share tips though.
Yeah, but the laundry room is really when my account took off, which is you know, anything you've done years past, you look back at and you're like, wow, that's awful. So again, Chad, I was still learning to build. So Chad built cabinets. I built a lower cabinet. So I took some like shanty to chic plans and kind of altered them to fit a sink that we already had. So I built this like little lower cabinet and he built the upper cabinets. And then after we did the laundry room, Shandy to Chic shared it, Ashley and Whitney, and
awesome.
I got like 4,000 followers, which at the time, I mean, you know, I went from a
huge.
2000.
Like, how did that even happen? Because that never happens. You know what I mean?
It was crazy. So I was in dentistry at the time. I worked in dental admin and I was sitting at the conference center in Atlanta. We were at a dental meeting and we're like sitting there, like in between classes, and my phone is just,
you're like, whoa.
And I'm like, what is going on? I'm like, my phone is blowing up. And I found out they had shared my post. And yeah, it was, I mean, I don't know if anybody
That's
gets
the kind of dedicated crew they have though, especially at that time. You know what I mean?
Oh,
like they were the big leaders in that industry. So people, if they're going to recommend somebody or show something like that, that's how much it matters. It's funny how different it is now because people are just like, oh, cool. I don't want to add to my following list. You know what I mean? I think I read an article too, like to get a follow now from people, it's a lot harder because they are like literally just at their max. They're just like, do I really want to add this person?
Well, yeah, I mean, you barely see who you want to see. Like, you know, you get so much. That's what I was telling my husband. It's like, I try to keep up with friends, but I'm like, by the time I scroll now, I'm getting like people that I guess Instagram thinks I should follow. So I'm getting like funny, like dog videos and like comedians. And I'm like, I just want to see like what my friends are doing. Like, I want to see cool woodworking, you know, because I learn a lot from people on Instagram still. Like I love, you know, when the more experienced people give tips.
Yeah. From watching somebody.
Yeah, for sure. But I was gonna circle back to something. How do we get on that?
I have no
Oh, you were
idea.
asking how I really got in the woodworking
Oh,
community.
yes.
Okay. So that was what really pushed my following as far as like Instagram followers.
Yep.
And then really other than that, it was Workbench Con. I went when I was pregnant with Charlie in 2019.
Oh, okay.
And I had like one or two meetups with like some local guys and girls here. So Jeremy, who's been my mentor for years and owns Jericho Home, like I said,
Okay.
where I apprenticed with them for a while. He was there. So I hung out with him and Jason Bent, a local girlfriend, Addie. And that was the year Jeremy built a table for Jen Woodhouse's booth.
Okay.
So I got
to go to that.
Jen. I just met all sorts of people. Jamie Castiglio. Is that how you say it? Okay.
Yep, I know you're talking about.
I'm gonna butcher her last name. But I met Jamie and Annika's DIY life. I just met so many
people
fantastic
went to that one.
women.
It's so crazy.
Yeah. Lizzie and Claire were there that year. I mean, that's how Lizzie and I first met and became close because I was pregnant with Charlie. And Lizzie one day is like, can I talk to you? And I'm like, we weren't like close at all. Like, so I'm like, are you pregnant? And she's like, yes, I am, but no one at the conference can know. Like, I have to hide it. So we did. And she just, we've just gotten closer and closer over the years. And because the girls are a couple weeks apart. Our due dates were a day apart, but the girls are like about 2 weeks apart. Crew was early and Charlie was late, of course. It's like her personality is just late. She gets it honestly, but yeah, so after that, I really realized the impact of going to conferences and meeting people in person and meeting brands in person. That was the first time I met Firm Grip, and it was just a really great experience for me. So obviously Workbench Con, then 2020 happened, right? So it was gone for a year or two.
It was gone for a year. They still had the 2021. I remember watching.
Oh,
Going
okay.
like, they're crazy. They're crazy.
Okay, I was like I was too postpartum then. She was like 6 months old, and I was like not going
anywhere.
I was not going anywhere.
No.
So yeah, then I missed, 2021, there was not one. And then we picked back up in 22.
Yeah. It's kind of crazy. It does change things though. Like I first experienced like the maker events, at, the maker camp. Like, you haven't been there yet, right?
No, but I am going this year.
You're like, no matter what.
I'm like, I don't care if I have to walk, like, and Carter wants to go now, my son. We went to the woodworking shows and cause I just adore Katharina. And she was talking about being there and just saying like that next year that they're going to go again, but she and her husband, she's going to work with her husband and focus on like the axes because she said it was just crazy. Awesome. And she mentioned you actually, she said, really? I felt That's like cool. There was already like a big carving presence. She said Tiff was there like doing her thing and she felt like you had a handle on like all the carving stuff. So she said, Tiff can do the carving stuff and that's awesome. And I'm going to work with him. She said, but we're definitely going back. Cause she's just like, it was awesome.
Who's this?
So, Katharina Nellis. Oh gosh, I don't remember her husband's first name. Bastion Head.
Oh, okay. Yeah. They're in the same tent as us. Yeah. They had the axes going. Yeah. They had a good crew over there.
Yeah, she's amazing. Flow. She does really organic carving. Like she does.
I've taken her bowl class before. That's why I was like,
okay, yeah.
I've sat through her class. Yeah.
Yeah. She's just wonderful. She's so sweet. And I went last year because I was like total like fangirl of carving. And then this year it was cool to like be able to talk to her and like show her some of the carvings I had done. I showed her like the lips that I did for the challenge. And
that's awesome.
Carter actually, it's the first woodworking thing that Carter has been interested in. So I got him a little Dremel Stilo for Christmas to like start out with. And so when we were there, he went with me because he wanted to see Katharina too. So she carved out a little cherry like pencil cup for him. So it was just really sweet.
That's
So
awesome. Yeah, that's great.
yeah.
My kids have zero interest, zero. They keep, well, I don't know if it's because they're autistic or what, but they're like, the loud noises, I don't want to deal with that.
Mhm.
What if I get hurt? They go very much into like all the things that could happen to them, and they
Yeah.
don't even want to get out there. And I'm just like, I see
Yeah.
all these cute videos of my friends carving, like their kids carving. I'm like, come on, children. They're like, not for me, mom. I'm like, you
Yeah.
guys
I
suck.
feel like carving is one of the safer things, especially when you're working
Yeah,
with like an 8-inch shaft.
it's
I
the
mean, I've
noise.
hit a finger before and
Oh, it
like scared
hurts.
myself, but then I was, yeah, it hurts. I mean, but you're not like, it's not a table saw. You're not chopping your finger
Exactly.
off. So
Yes. Yeah.
the
Yeah.
bigger bits would be worse for sure. But
I'd say I've had the blue, big, very pointy ones get
Hmm.
me.
Oh,
Always gets me right there. It's like,
yeah. Yeah.
But
It's
no,
funny. Kids are funny in that way. We were in the car one time and Charlie said that she said, your tools are just loud. And she's 4. And she said, they're just loud and they scare me. And I was like, well, they're not really scary when you know how to use them. I said, you know what to do to make sure that you're safe and you
Mhm.
wear your protective gear and, you just have to know how to use it. And she said, well, I don't know how to use them. So I am scared of them. And I was like, fair enough.
Yeah, exactly. She explained it perfectly.
Yeah. Yeah. I'm like, well, yeah, I guess I do know how to use them, so I'm not scared, but although some things still scare me.
Oh,
We
yeah.
the router has always been what makes me the most nervous. Like it's the jumpiest tool, I feel like to me, like you catch grain wrong and it's just flying off the handle.
Mhm.
And then we did this build in Austin with Festool and Rubio
Yeah, that
and
looks like so much fun.
Lanthromake, yeah, and Shape Origin. So I did these curved legs with Chandler from Sawdust and Whiskey. And he's like, yeah, we're going to cut them out with the Shaper Origin. And then we're going to take them over to the router table and do like progressive router bits. Like, girl, I'm talking about the biggest router bit you
Bitch
have
you ever
ever
seen.
seen. And I'm like holding this leg, like running this leg along the router bit. And I'm like, it was just, they were like, man, you killed it at the router table. I'm like, I was praying the whole
Well,
time.
that's what I was
Like,
thinking. Like, at the same time, though, it's kind of thrilling, right? That you made it through that and you experienced it and you've kind of conquered a fear. But it's
yeah,
nice when you kind of have someone there guiding you too. So, like, that's a
yeah. Oh,
bonus.
for
Like,
sure. Yeah. There was one
did
point
that.
when it was like a part of it that was just too sketchy. And Chandler's like, do you want me to do it? I'm like, yeah, I'm going to keep my fingers today. Yeah. I'll let you do that.
That's awesome. I've been going and visiting shops whenever I can. I would go maker spaces and teaching now. So I've been
Yeah.
trying so many different tools that I've never tried. I'm like you have to just kind of like jump in and figure it out. I'm like, oh, I can do this. I've never used this, but sure.
Is there a tool? Is there like a major tool that you don't have? Are there any like big tools that you don't have?
Well, I got rid of my bandsaw and my drill press because they were old anyways, and I didn't know how to use it properly, but I
Yeah.
needed the space. So I had to get rid of those too. And then I have the shittiest of table saws, so I don't
Yeah.
ever like want to use it. I got to
Mm.
use Saw Stop when I was at Total Boat of all places, which is kind of funny. So,
Yeah.
and I was like, oh, it's so nice and smooth. I'm like, that is such a difference when you have like a nice space. But again, one car garage situation and wanting, I like got
Yeah.
certain tools in the shop that I still haven't used yet because I have been doing challenges, a lot of challenges. I did 4
Yes.
challenges last
Yes.
year. Um, and then just like bigger projects in the background. So like it's so funny. I have all like these nice newer tools and I'm just like, I don't even touch you. I just look at
I
you.
know. Well, I was wanting that die grinder,
Mm-hmm.
before the last challenge, and I ended up holding off and not getting it. And then my husband got it for me for Christmas. And then I had surgery. So I'm just like staring at it like, I
I
love
want to
you.
play with you.
I know. We'll be together soon, I promise.
What are you hoping to carve first?
I don't know. So I just made a dough whisk.
Whisk.
Yeah, so I'm like feeling this pull like everyone towards the sourdough. We already eat sourdough. So
I
I'm
love
trying to
sourdough.
trying to get on the sourdough train.
I was legit talking to Mary Lou about bread baking the other day because I was laughing because I'm like, I have this really nice gourmet bread. I'm a baker. Like I used to work in a bakery. I used to have my own at-home bakery for many years. And then once I had the kids, I stopped because it was just too much.
Yeah.
But like everybody popping up making sourdough bread now, it's like making me want to go find my cookbook. I'm like, no, you're trying to lose weight. Don't be starting baking bread like all these people. I'm like, don't do it. Don't do
Bread
it.
for every meal.
Yeah, yeah. Today we're having some cheddar biscuits.
Yeah. With
Tomorrow.
the what's it
Yeah.
called? With the sourdough discard.
Oh, that would be good.
That would be
Mhm.
good. But I've convinced myself that sourdough is healthy. Like it's
It
like good
is
for your gut.
it's the best digestible bread. I
So
mean,
that's what
just don't start drifting to other things.
I
Today we're
know. I
making
know, like the
focaccia bread.
cinnamon rolls and
I have a great cinnamon roll recipe.
do you? Oh man, you have to send that to me.
No, because
It's
if I start
like
digging,
candies.
it's in
Yeah.
print. I'm like that.
Oh, really?
That's how old it is.
Yeah, that's what my dad, I've had to get my dad to start like scanning my mom's recipes in because I'm like, these cannot just like live
Disappear.
in a box and disappear. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So many good ones.
So
But
I enjoyed that 21 challenge where everyone's posting stuff. I had to like, I couldn't even find. I think I actually posted photos of me like 25, but I'm like, oh, it's close enough.
well, yeah, because there's a group of us that are like, I don't have digital pictures of
Nope.
myself at 21. Like there's like an age cutoff somewhere in there.
Mm-hmm.
Like when I joined Facebook, it was when I was at Florida State and it was when you had to have a college email to join.
I joined after I graduated.
Yeah.
That's how old I was. It wasn't even really much of a thing until after I graduated.
Yeah. I had MySpace for like a hot second, but I never
That
was
was the
like really
best.
on
I like
there.
changing my song every day because that was when I was really into music. I mean, I
Yeah.
still
I think
am,
I
but
like got on
it
and
was
just did,
life.
I told you, I'm not like technologically
So what did you do
advanced.
after
So
high school? Did you go to like what was your path then? I'm kind of curious. That
well,
kept you away from
I've had a
computers.
plethora. So I went to Florida State.
Okay.
And we still didn't even really have computers in the classroom. I mean, we had books. I mean, I took notes. So, I mean, I'm 40. I'm about to
Oh
be
yeah,
41.
I took notes too.
Um,
Yeah, we weren't bringing laptops to class. Yeah, I see what you're saying. Yeah.
no, I had a laptop at home, but the thought of like typing fast enough to like take notes on it, like I think some people had theirs in class, but like not me.
I'm
I
42,
was,
by the way.
yeah,
So
I
I
was
get it.
right.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah. Um, but I was a fashion merchandising major. So I went to Florida State
Fashion
and
merchandising.
yes,
That's
I just
crazy.
wanted to move to New York. I just, ever since like
I said, what was the
Friends came
goal?
out, I had the like New York dream. So, and I did. I worked in New York in fashion and public relations for about 3.5, 4 years.
Okay.
And it was just super in a lot of debt.
Mm-hmm.
So,
It's
that,
expensive.
girl, I mean, I had a 6th floor walk up it was a 2 bedroom, but like my roommate's bedroom literally fit like a twin bed and like a little chest of drawers at the end of the bed. And that was it. You couldn't even open her door the whole way. It hit the bed. And it was like $2,600 a month. And that was in
Gotcha. That's
that was
crazy.
in like
Yeah.
2008. I can't even imagine. My husband's like, what do you think that apartment is now? And I'm like, I don't even want to know. Like, do you think
Yeah.
someone out there is paying like $4,000 or $5,000 a month for that apartment? Because that's crazy. They probably are.
You're like 100%.
100% they have to be. It was $2,600 a month in 2008. So they have to be. It has to have doubled, which is just wild to
You're like
me.
just like
Wild.
for sure.
But
So
yeah, the
yeah, what happened
recession
after that?
happened.
Okay.
And my parents were like, we can fly you home for Thanksgiving or Christmas, but not both. And I was just devastated. It was the first and only Thanksgiving like I haven't spent with family.
Yeah.
And I chose Christmas, obviously. And I was just devastated. I was like, I'm just done here. I'm done with this. Like, so I was there for another 6 months and moved home. And that was when I started dating my husband. So
Kind of
yeah,
cemented where you lived at that point. You're like, all right.
yeah. Well, it's funny. I always just say like God has such a sense of humor, because when I was in New York, I just would always be like, I'm never like going to move home and marry a guy I went to high school with. And I literally moved home and married a guy I went to high school with.
So
So
funny.
yeah, it's,
But you
he
had
has
your
a way of like
adventure,
when you
though.
tell him you're not doing something to like put you in your place real quick. So
That's hilarious. You did that thing though. You got out, you followed your dream. So
I did.
when you got home, what shifted there for career wise? Like what were you doing at that point?
Well, I was in PR when I left New York, and I
Okay.
couldn't really get a job in PR here. Like no one was hiring. I had a couple, they were interviews, but not really. They weren't really hiring. It was more like, we'll meet with you. And then if we ever need somebody, we'll let you know kind of thing. Like I knew kind of ahead of time. They weren't really hiring. So I went into retail, and actually my husband, we actually went to the beach with friends. Like as soon as I moved home, like we went to the beach with some friends. They were like, Chad is going. Do you want to go? Like, so he's not the third wheel. And I'm like, sure, whatever. And we've just been together ever since then. So, but he was living in Nashville at the time. So I had moved back in with my parents, and I was like, what do you think about me moving to Nashville? Because we were 26. So I'm like, this is either going to work or it's not going to work. Like, we'll know real quick. So he was like, I mean, if you can get a job here, you can move here. So I got a job in Nashville in retail, working. I think I started at Abercrombie. I worked several places. Yeah, I worked at Abercrombie, and then I worked at Hollister, and then I moved over to Aeropostale.
So you had a sweet tan, some
puka
shell necklaces.
Oh yeah. I mean, girl, and at this point, like I'm curvy anyways, but it's so funny, like the dress code, and anyone who's ever worked at Abercrombie knows like how ridiculous they are with like the dress codes and stuff. But the like season or whatever we were in, like you couldn't wear a belt. And I'm like, I have
So
like
weird.
a boutete, as my daughter calls it. This boutete does not fit very well in Abercrombie jeans. So I'm like, I gotta wear a belt. Because I'm climbing around, I'm changing mannequins. I'm like doing fixed lighting. I'm like, I cannot not wear a belt. I'm gonna be hanging out the back of these pants.
Seriously.
So I got written up for not wearing a belt. But that place cracks me up, man.
That's so funny.
But
Or that explains it then how you avoided the computer, the desk job. Okay, I was curious.
yeah.
I was just like, how did she skate through this?
Yeah, PR, I feel like was mostly, we did computer work, but we were on the phone a lot. Just a lot of, and I did, basically for anyone, fashion PR is a little different than other like types of PR because you're actually dealing with a physical product. So you're literally like, when you work for like the designers, because I worked in editorial some too, where you're actually getting samples in for the photo shoots.
Oh, fun.
But on the other end of it, the PR end of it, you've got all your clients like samples, whether it's a runway client, you've got like the pieces from the runway, which are in super high demand. And then you've got, ready to wear and active wear and accessory clients and stuff like that. So you're basically like lending samples out to people that are having photo shoots. You're kind of a scheduler. Like you can have this bag for this week, but I need it back Thursday because then Vogue wants it. And that's obviously top priority. So
You've
you're
gotten really good at like,
you're not getting it back. You're on the phone, like, where is it? Like, send it today. But it's pretty cool though. In New York, they have like a messenger service. So literally there's like guys on bikes that are just
going back and forth.
going back and forth from building to building. And
You're giving me very much Devil Wears Prada vibes right now.
yeah, and this is like pre-Uber, right? Like pre-Uber Eats and DoorDash and Instacart and all those things. You had, the guys on bikes. So,
I'm
but
sure they still do.
Oh, I'm sure. I mean, it's quick. Like you can pay to have that thing expedited. And I mean, they'll be door to door in like 15 minutes. It's pretty wild. Yeah, it's cool. So yeah, I was in retail for a while and then wanted to get out of retail. And that's when I got back into administration. I did dental admin for about 7 years. And then I had a friend poach me while I was on maternity leave with Charlie, who ran a landscape hardscape company. So I did like AR and AP for a little over 3 years.
What's AR and
Oh,
RP?
sorry, accounts receivable and accounts payable.
Yeah, okay. I was like, I'm not down with the slang.
Sorry, yes. So more account stuff, more like financial stuff. So I did that.
You had
and
a
that
broad
was when,
spectrum though of like different tasks that's kind of led you where you've got like are now though.
yeah,
You think
I've
about
had like,
it.
I feel like I've had 10 careers. Like I don't even in like this time span, but
Meanwhile, I'm at the same place for 16 years, like, kill me.
yeah, well, I think, as much as like I wanted longevity with the company, I also don't do well if I'm not happy. Like I'm not staying there long. I don't deal with that well. Like I come home and my poor husband is like, "You're crazy." And I'm like, I hate this job.
My
So
life just changed in so many different ways while I was at that job that you like it became like that's just my job and then it became awful. Like, you know what I mean?
yeah,
Like it was cool and we had a lot of fun people that we worked with for many, many years. And then as they thinned the herd and got rid of the
Mhm.
cool people and all
Yeah,
that's left is the crotchety old ladies that have been there for 20 years. They know their job and they're gonna like just bitch all day. I was like, I'm done with this lifestyle. I'm like, this is
yeah.
so toxic. I'm like, and plus, like, it
Oh,
got worse and worse, So, like, yeah, once it hit that level, but oh my God, for many years, my job was chilled. And that's what kept me there for so long. Is
yeah.
like, I thought there was potential to move up in the world there. And then there was not.
What were you doing?
I was in marketing and advertising, doing direct mail, which is funny because I
Okay.
used to work in the mail. So every week we had to go to print. So I was in charge of managing my clients, make sure I got all their art in properly, got it set up, and got it approved. All the changes made. And I mean, like, these are coupons and stuff. So, like, I'm looking
Yeah,
at price points. I'm staring, is there a comma here? Is that there? Like, it
yeah,
was just like, you know, scavenger hunt type stuff. But
yeah,
like, and then we got it off the press every week and we got it all done. Like I did a lot of strategic accounts because I'm that kind of person who loves details and things like that. So like
yeah.
your bigger pizza chains, your Papa John's, your Domino's, all of
That's
them.
cool.
And I also did a lot of it rotated. Like I've done so many. I led Walmart when they first did their digital team. Like all
Yeah,
kinds of different places, KFC, like talk about all of those guys. I did all of that for many, many years. And it just, yeah, my job just became very data driven at the end and not
yeah,
creative anymore. It went from
yeah,
me being like a designer, because I'm a graphic designer in the
yeah,
heart of it. And it just became less design and more like, okay, get this to ship here and go sit in this sales meeting. It's like,
yeah,
okay, I'm done now. Now I'm
yeah,
just like this, marketing person now. I'm like, and selling pizza, which I mean, I love pizza, but I don't want to be staring at pepperoni pizza now with stuffed crust anymore, you know?
yeah, yeah. Yeah. Well, and like you were saying, like once all the people left, it's crazy how the environment can make it so much worse or
Yep.
better.
Yeah.
Like one extreme or the other,
We went
like who
from
you're
like 60
around.
people to like 20, and then it was like 5. When I quit, there was 3 people left on our team. Honest.
Wow.
Yeah. Like that's how much we were like, and I was one of those people who were automating things and
Yeah.
like finding new hacks and testing programs and all of this stuff. So I helped eliminate jobs myself, but like it's one of those things that it's just crazy, like 16 years and then like nothing. It's very funny.
Yeah.
And the best part is now my old boss is actually asking me now to teach them how to do social media. So
Oh, how
it's like
funny.
role reversal. And like and she quit, she got actually laid off from the place, which is not funny, but it's just interesting how it circles back now. And now
For
they're like,
sure.
"Hey, you do this well. Can you help us?" I'm like,
Yeah.
"Yeah, it's interesting." I know we're going 9 o'clock here already, but
Oh man,
just
already?
yeah, it flew by. I looked down, I was like, "Oh shit." But like what are your current goals? I kind of want to know like what are you working towards right now?
So I've always been one that's like, don't niche down, like niche up.
Mhm.
Um, but as fun as it is to like dabble in things and try new things, I don't think I'll ever not try new things and new mediums like epoxy and carving and all these things. Like I'm really trying to hone my business and find like sort of a niche for myself. Like I'm trying to kind of figure out what I really want to do and what I really want to sell. And increase my skill level. So instead of being just okay at a lot of things, I really want to hone in on something. So I really love building furniture. I really, really want to improve like my furniture building skills
Yeah.
and just continue to do. I love home accessories too. Like I love smaller items. I still love cutting boards and they do well
It's
for
what's
me.
I was saying
So
it's what sells too is
mhm.
and like I was literally been telling myself I need to make functional art because that's the only thing that's gonna sell right now. You know what I mean? Art is lovely and people can't afford to buy that in a wall. You know, they
Yeah.
can though afford a really cool looking salad bowl maybe or something, you know? It's
Yeah.
like,
Yeah. That's what my husband, I made him like a little watch stand. And he said the other night, my son commented on it and he was like, why doesn't mommy sell those? And I'm like, I don't know because I don't know. I just never was like, he was like, will you make me a watch stand? I'm like, sure, but
mhm.
it doesn't like occur to me. I'm
That
not,
maybe.
yeah, I'm not like, I don't want to say I'm not business savvy, but those are the things like being like, oh, this product idea, this is definitely what I should do. Like, I'm not good at that stuff. I'm just out here like making a dough whisk because I need a dough whisk and making a watch stand because we want a watch stand, I'm like, so I'm trying to really get a more specific product line um that I can do like repetitive that I
Yeah.
can sell
You should
and kind
definitely
of
attend that class then at Workbench. With oh god, oh my god, a glimpse inside.
Chris, yeah.
Yes, yes, and oh my god, he's teamed up with Philip Miller. Um,
Oh, I'm like,
Philip
I'm a
Miller.
Philip Morley
No, yeah,
fangirl. So
sorry,
I'm like,
sorry.
is Philip Morley gonna be there?
No, Philip Miller. I said it and I was like, no, wrong name. But they're teaming up to talk about like just making products and how to become successful at repeating that and stuff. So it might just be
Okay.
inspiring to hear people talking about that to kind of get your mind on where you want to go. Like, okay, I enjoy making these three things or like these I don't know if you do markets. I stopped because it's exhausting. It's exhausting.
Yeah, I did. And then I was like, I have had some where I made money and some where I didn't. And it was kind of like, that's when I was working full time though. So to me, it was like, that's 2 full days I could have been in the
Yes.
shop
Yeah.
that I was sitting at a market. So I've thought about it because that's another thing I want to focus on this year is getting my name more out in the local community.
Same.
To like potentially get in like either boutiques or get in with interior designers where like even if I'm like building a piece of furniture that can be used for staging, I don't know. I'm
Yeah.
just those are like my ideas for this year. I really enjoy carving, so I really want to get better at carving. But that lends itself to the home
Well,
accessories,
I was gonna say that, yeah, like I just did a video for Sabretooth on propagation stations, like
Oh, cool.
so trying to get people to do smaller projects with burrs. Like there's one, and I'm gonna make a little card about that. Like I just use two different burrs. Like that's it.
Yeah.
Just two burrs. So it's like you don't need a ton of tools to make something cool. And
Yeah.
carving is addicting, and I like that how you're like, you need to do it more because it's just so fun.
Yeah, it's so fun. And it's kind of freeing. Like making furniture is great, but making sure that things are square and like having
That's
super accurate
same.
measurements can be really stressful. Um, Especially if you've like milled up all this stuff and you've got like this expensive like walnut or exotic wood and it's like one wrong cut and you're having to like remake something and
Mhm.
so there's carving is just so freeing. There's just, there's kind of no wrong way to do it.
Exactly.
Um,
If you do it wrong, you can just redo it, I guess. But like,
yeah.
you can also just make the carving smaller.
Yeah. Well, or you like, Katharina's stuff is really rough. She leaves a
Mhm.
lot of not rough as in like not sanded, but rough as in like you can see like,
The marks.
marks from where it was carved and it's, super organic.
Mhm.
It doesn't have to be picture perfect like you turned it on a lathe, you know what I mean?
Yep.
So, but yeah, this guy is my go-to. If you can see it.
Yeah, I
This
can.
one.
The flame.
Yes. I mean, if this was the only one I had, I could make things happen. Um, it's my go-to burr. It's my
Yeah,
favorite.
I love that.
Uh,
It's actually what I use for the propagation station, just like a
oh yeah.
quarter shank one. But
Yeah.
yeah, it's very versatile and it's really, you have a lot of control. It's so funny.
Mm-hmm.
I actually popped on Clubhouse. I don't know if you've ever heard of that,
Mm-mm.
but it's an app that you can go in and there's like a woodworking group and it's mostly
Oh,
metal
okay.
people that are in there still too. But you could just sit there and bullshit for a while. And we got into like a 10-minute carving conversation yesterday. And I was like, "Oh, that was kinda nice." But yeah, I just kept on like, "Oh, the takeaway I always get is like it's therapeutic, you know?
Yeah, it really
It's
is.
you need that
It is.
zen
So
time. Well, that's cool. I kind of think this is like a year of like discovery for both of us. I definitely am diving in on a lot of different things
yeah.
myself and like airbrushing, the Fordham, like trying
Hmm.
to up my game to get even better skills, like you're saying, to just not be like good at some stuff. I want to be amazing at stuff.
Yeah. Yeah. So yeah, I want to do more on the scroll saw. I want to like make some more, I do some signs and stuff like that. And because yeah, I mean, have you scrolled? Do you
Oh
scroll?
yeah, I started as a scroll saw artist. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Mhm.
Okay.
I
Oh, I
have a
didn't
scroll
know
saw.
that. Oh,
Yeah,
that's
yep,
so
mhm.
cool. Okay,
Yep.
before the CNC.
Oh yeah, way before the CNC, way before I was hand router carving. That's how I started. I started doing like
That's impressive.
oh, thank you. I love doing hand router carving.
Oh
Um,
man.
but no, I started off as a scroll saw artist, probably at the age of like 7 or 8 cutting. Because my dad,
Really?
yeah, because my
How did I not
dad,
ever know this?
oh really? Oh, that's funny.
No.
My dad and mom did the craft fair circuit, so my dad would teach me how to scroll saw stuff, and then my mom would show me how to paint it. So that's how I started, was because they
That's
did the craft
so
fairs.
cool.
Yeah, yep. So that's I know
You need to
everyone.
have some maker conversations with Tiff, like just you.
What do you talk about me?
Yeah, just like
I
yes.
share things sometimes. People are feel.
We need someone else
I
to
was.
host and ask you all the questions.
I did one like way back in the day when we were behind the maker, but we haven't done one in a while. I go on other people's shows occasionally, and if people want to know more about me, there's some really good ones. Assorted conversations. I was a guest there. It's an old one now, so like life has changed completely for me. But that was a good one of like back history. But yeah,
Yeah.
no, I started off scroll saw for years. One of the biggest sellers. I used to make children's room art. So I would carve out
Cool.
like different like, whales and um things like that. And then I started making owls and I was changing owls into all kinds of themes, like Star Wars themes, horror themes. I'd make like
Oh,
werewolf
cool.
owls. Like my son
Yeah.
actually has like 7 owls that are left from my collection that never sell. I had like elf owls, like all kinds of crazy owls.
Oh, how
That's what I used
cool.
to do. Yeah. And I used to do like watercolor art, like a lot of watercolor art.
Oh, it's so cool. You'll have to send me a picture of the owls.
Yeah, I'll have to record those up. It's funny because like I have been on social media selling art for longer than I think anyone that I know. And it's just funny because I'm like, I've always just done that with other stuff. I've never
Yeah.
ever just focused on me yet. And it's still that way.
Yeah.
I'm still not just focusing on me yet. So it's hard because I never tell my story. But yeah, I've been using a scroll since I was a little kid.
Wow, that's so cool.
Yeah.
But yeah,
My
that's
baby.
also,
I
that is
love a
also
scroll saw.
therapeutic to me.
It
So
is. No, scrolling is great. I think people get intimidated by it because you got to turn the opposite way that you would think. But once you get
yeah,
into it and you start like really getting comfortable with it, and like those skills transition to the bandsaw, which is really nice.
yeah,
It's like I don't use it very often, but lately I've been going to people's shops to use a bandsaw, and I'm like,
yeah,
this is so nice. Just
yeah,
a scroll saw on steroids. I'm like, this is
yeah.
great.
Oh, for sure. Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, my number one tip with the scroll saw is to start with like things that are organic, that
Mhm.
like you're cutting a flower or, like the spider that I did. Like it doesn't really matter if you miss your
Forgiving.
line. Like
Yeah.
it's not like text, the Lizzie doing like these like square text letters. Like I'm not sure I'll ever be good
But
at
she's
those.
doing it all the time, so she's really honed those skills.
Yeah,
Like, when
that
you
is
aren't
impressive to
doing
me.
it like that, yeah, it's the lines, like, the preciseness that she does, and
Yeah,
it's her
it's
work is
wild.
amazing, yeah.
Yeah.
But that's her
But I
focus, like,
like I
that's what
like
she
organic
focuses on.
things where if I miss my line a little, it's no big deal. Just keep going.
It's less pressure.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Yeah.
Her yeah, her stuff is definitely high pressure. Knocks it out of the park every time.
I know. I know. She's always a fun one. I don't know if you've ever like talked to her about marketing and about like your company and like, but she like I tell her she needs to go like do TED Talks. Like the girl has the most ideas, not only for herself, but like for other people's businesses that like it's insane. Like people, see Lizzie mostly for her like woodworking work, but
Mhm.
her marketing mind, I
No, she does
mean,
great. She was, like, on another woodshop podcast a couple episodes before mine,
yeah,
and I listened to it. It was awesome. I interviewed her years ago. I'm
yeah,
talking 4 years ago now, so life has changed completely.
baby Lizzie.
Yeah, yeah, because Crew was, like, literally a baby at the time.
Yeah,
So, yeah, it's been
that's
yeah,
crazy.
yeah, so I'd love to have her back on and hang out with her again, and you can come co-host with me if you'd love. It'd be
Yeah, I would
fun.
love that.
You wanna interview her with me? It'd be cool.
I would love that. I would love that.
Yeah, and
I
sorry I
love
didn't
her.
officially
Excited.
start the interview. I we just started talking, so I didn't, like, go, "Hey, welcome to the show." But that's literally all I would
Well,
have done. I always tell people when they come on here, it's a very chill environment. You're not gonna feel like you're on a podcast because I don't want you to. So I hope you
yeah.
were calm and relaxed and it was chill
Oh
for
yeah.
you.
Well, part of it, like knowing that it's not live,
Mhm.
even though, I mean, I don't know how much editing you do,
I
but
edit.
even if you like sent like posted the thing without editing one
Yeah.
word, like just somehow knowing that it's not live is like so much
It's a
less
wave of
pressure.
relief, right?
Yeah, yeah. And that's so my son was like, "Are you nervous?" And I was like, "No, because I'm just literally like getting on the phone to talk to my friend Tiff. Like that's,
Mhm.
I said it's
That's
just a
how I
fun
want it to be.
podcast that,
Yeah.
yeah, yeah.
Yep. I don't ask me 3 questions before we get in the show. Let's go. Ask now. Like I
Yeah.
can't do it. Plus, like, life is too busy to do all that prep work. Like, I do this podcast because I think it's a lot of fun,
Yeah.
and I want to share that experience.
Yeah.
Sabretooth gives me a little bit of money towards each episode, but like that's it. I don't really make anything off of it. I could if I really want to like hustle it, but then I have to put more work into it, you know?
Yeah.
It's like, this is just where it is right now, and it feels nice. It's a
Yeah.
nice, cozy little place.
It's so nice to like talk to people and
Mhm.
like you said, like hear their background,
I
hear
learned so
their
much about you
story. Like,
today. Yeah.
oh
Like,
my gosh, yeah.
seriously, I have no idea that's where you started and now, like, where you are now. It's cool. Yeah.
Yeah. Like I said, I really, another goal I have is to really hone in and like work on my furniture building skills,
Mhm.
joinery and stuff like that. The Shaper Origin was my big investment.
That's awesome.
So learning how to do that. Um, but it's fun. It's, working out of my basement. I don't really have, this is like the one thing my husband lets me do inside because it's like decent dust collection.
Mhm.
So, but I
Yeah,
don't
I
really
know
have room
everything
for
you
a
do, you have to
CNC.
roll outside, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And that's what I was going to say. I got my 40th birthday present was the Saw Stop, the job site.
Yes.
And, it's like, the table saw is one of those things that like, I was never scared of until I learned more and like use it more often.
Right.
And now I'm like, I really should get a sauce. Like there really are some things that like, if you do wrong, like,
oh
it's
yeah,
not
no,
gonna-
you can mess yourself up so bad. And that's why I try to leave it alone. But at the same time, not using it, I'm not improving any of my skills. Like I never even try to frame anything. This is the reason I started power carving. Well, one of the major ones was because I learned a fake bark technique. So that way I could do that at the edges of my signs instead of framing them. Because I was framing them and it was like, oh my God, this is such an annoying step. I don't care about the frame. And I was using like tobacco lathe. So that way it was like super rustic frames anyways. And then once I realized I could avoid the frames, I was like, I unlocked it. Yeah. But now I see like Kristen's Creations and Lizzie and all them doing like these beautiful frames. And I'm like, damn it, ladies.
Kristen's work she's another one that like her work is just insane. Like I have no desire. Like I love hardwoods. I love like wood grain. And I have no desire really to paint. Like
yeah, I love painting. Oh, I know so many people don't. That's so funny. I follow so many woodworkers and I'm just like, I just like to paint. Like woodworking is just like a conduit to where I get to paint the thing. I'm like, when is it going to be done? Yeah. Like, when is this canvas going to be done so I can paint it? Like, that's, it's not like I'm like, man, I just want to be the best woodworker I can be. No, I just want to like get this thing to where I want to be so I can paint that thing. But then sometimes it would be nice to be talented woodworker and frame it nicely. So it's like, oh.
Well, just like anything else, you just have to,
try it.
Practice. And,
I didn't try.
Try it. You are definitely talented enough that you could do it.
I could. It's just the will.
Yeah. But no, I'm the same way with like oiling. I'm like, oh, I just want to put oil on this baby. Like, I just want to see the grain pop and like, that's my favorite thing now really is to go to the lumber yard and just look for like interesting pieces of wood. Like,
you go with a squirt bottle. Ooh, look at that one. Look at that one.
Get out of here.
Imagine the crazy lady with the squirt bottles back. She's popping grain everywhere.
So funny. Yeah, I mean, the spider sign that I did.
I love that. Yeah.
Oh my gosh, the mosaic. Like when I put the walrus butter on that, I was like, oh, it was so good. So good.
Please do a video of you applying finish, but the camera pointed at your face next time. So we can just watch the reactions. Come on. Tell me that wouldn't be funny.
It probably would be
like, oh, stop. And then you just like slowly watch like the drip of something on it. Like, whoo.
I know. It's me just like petting it. I'm like, oh,
so beautiful.
So
call your husband, honey.
I do. I'm like sitting in pictures. I'm like, can you believe this? And he's like, oh, I'm at work, Rebecca. I'm like,
real nice. Thanks, hun.
I get the token, the man text message, the K. K.
My husband says nice.
I have just threads of like me like word vomiting, and then there's like a K. Blah 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 blah. K. Blah 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 blah. K.
He's like, I have absorbed it, but this is all you're getting. Acknowledgement. That's what that K is. I've read this.
Yes, I acknowledge.
I acknowledge you.
It's binding. It's binding.
It's binding.
Thank you again so much for listening. And if you have some free time and you want to learn how to carve a spoon, I just released a brand new video on the Sabertooth channel. It's featuring the brand new templates that I'm currently selling. So if you are into power carving, you're not so computer savvy, and you need some templates to get you going, I've got a bunch of different templates on my website. I am carving them, lasering them on Baltic birch, and you can also buy digital files if you aren't computer savvy and you want to use your CNC and laser to create your own stuff. there is that possibility as well. So make sure you go to nightcarverdesigns.com to check out those templates and to Sabretooth's YouTube channel to watch the how-to video. Plus, I mean, I'm pretty proud of that spoon that I just carved. Like, pretty proud. All right, have a great day and thank you for listening.